The Chinese invented the chopsticks and influenced how billions of people enjoy their food. I speak with Ian Huen, author and cultural thought leader, and asked him if the Chinese have only ever used chopsticks to eat.
Actually, if you look at some of the newest archaeological findings, the answer is no. Early Chinese people actually used forks, forks with with just two. So it's a bit like when you eat like crab cakes or like shrimp cocktail, and then with spoons around. And they've found excavations around maybe about 3,000–4,000 years ago. That's what they used to use. But then they slowly migrated into chopsticks around the Shang dynasty, which is about 3,500 to 3,000 years ago.
Then what happened? How did it enter the Chinese culture? And why did it enter the Chinese culture?
There's no specific message from history why, but I think one interesting quote would be from Cai Yuanpei. Cai Yuanpei was one of the earlier presidents of the University of Beijing. He said that Chinese people, we are peace-loving people, so we do not want any lethal weapons on our dining table. So we don't want the forks, we want the knives, so we have the chopsticks. So we do all the chopping up inside the kitchen, and so as and when the food comes to the table, we eat with non-lethal weapons.
When we look at the chopstick today, the Chinese version, the original version of the chopstick, it's square at the top and it's round at the bottom, unlike the Japanese, which is round all the way through. Why is there that contrast in shapes?
The round is actually means heaven. That's the heaven at the bottom. The square is the earth, is at the top. So when you look at these combinations, you've got the sky at the bottom, the heaven at the bottom, and the earth at the top. And also there's a term called, Mencius had mentioned that to eat is heaven. To eat for the common people is heaven. And so you eat with the round side into your mouth, where heaven meets your mouth.
Because for many, many years, the Chinese people haven't had enough to eat because of poverty and the hunger that creates. Is there a relationship between those two?
The tip-top priority for the Chinese people, for the Chinese race, is to eat, or is to feed the Chinese people. And then to the Japanese is interesting. The chopsticks, they use wooden chopsticks, so it's always disposable, because the Japanese is very spiritual. So when they view chopsticks, they view it very much in terms of a ritual, a sacrifice, a ceremony. And so when you eat Japanese, next time just remember, when you're eating Japanese food and with round chopsticks on both sides, it's as you eat, so is the spirit eating on the other side.
That doesn't reassure me in any way. But there's something to be said about the stabilizing aspect of holding these two sticks. How does that work?
The first stick is inside, it's the bottom one, and then you've got the one, and this one doesn't move. So you can think of it from a philosophical or like the I Ching perspective. It is the yin energy, which is the non-moving. And then you've got the moving part, which you then clip the food, which is the yang energy. So there's a yin and yang. And also your fingers, if you think about it, it's kind of like humans living between heaven and earth and having to find the balance between the two in order to survive and eat. So there's a lot of philosophical value inside the chopsticks.
Please give a warm welcome for James Chau.
I'm James Chau, host of the China Current, with a glimpse into tomorrow's world and stories about the human experience everywhere.